Welcome students. I am Vinita Prasad with the video lecture on the third and fourth stanza of the poem The Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, written by Stephen Spender. The first stanza provides a clear, dreary depiction of students in the classroom. In the second stanza, Stephen Spender describes the classroom and its content. And now, the third stanza. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turned in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits of stones. All their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. In lines 17 to 21, Shakespeare is wicked and the map a bad example. Maybe because it caused the slum children to aspire better life. The pictures of maps, ships, sun indicate travel, love and acceptance. The picture of maps, ships, sun indicate travel, love and acceptance. Comprehending these pictures is beyond their abilities. Their abilities means the abilities of the slum children. The desire for love and acceptance will force them to do crimes like stealing. Both the pictures represents the pinnacles of achievement in their own respective fields. Shakespeare stands for the ultimate in learning, knowledge and comprehending human nature. And on the other hand, the map represents the absolute in the realm of adventure, and the portrait of the Tyrolese Valley suggests all men can achieve and accomplish through their own initiative and hard work. Both the pictures represent the pinnacles of achievement in their own respective fields. The study of Shakespeare that talks of liberation from a life of drudgery is wicked. Why? Because it raises false hopes in the children. The maps showing ships sailing to lands of bright sun are a bad example for those who live in cramped and dingy holes, as their life is an endless fog till they die. Their lives are in sharp contrast to the world represented on the maps and photographs on the walls of the school. It is not right to make them dream of things that fill them up with love for life. These children have bones showing through their skin, and their only progress from their foggy slum is endless night. The maps of their future are already blotted. The windows of the classroom hardly usher in any fresh air or any fresh ideas. The classroom becomes the burial ground where tombs are erected on the dreams and future of the children. Ironically, the classroom, which should be stimulating the children and helping them to realize their dreams, only shut their lives like a catacombs. They become a burial ground of their dreams and blot their future. They have worn looking glasses made of steel, which are cheap, heavy and uncomfortable. This signifies that their outlook on their life is also hardened with their life's ruthlessness, like bottle bits on stones. Here the poet has used simile to describe the lenses in their spectacles have been repaired. Similarly, their dreams have also been broken by the harsh reality of their lives. In other words, Spender seems to suggest that the school was serving no purpose for them. It left those children just as hopeless full of despair in the same condition of poverty as it had found them before. Cramped holes is a metaphor to indicate their small homes which are filled to capacity. It will not take them to the right path, but they have adapted themselves to live in these spaces. From fog, alliteration, F and F. So, alliteration is used. Fog is a metaphor used for dark and unclear future of the slum children. Endless night is a metaphor to indicate never ending pain and torture. Now the fourth stanza, unless governor, inspector, visitor. This map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break, oh break open till they break the town and show the children to green fields and make their world run azure on gold sands and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs, whose language is the sun. In the final stanza, Spender suggests one final remedy that could help the slum children in this situation. If only there is one person in a position to influence, like a governor or a teacher who had some power, or a visitor or even an inspector, somebody who would come and look at these children in their plight with compassion and do something for them, then possibly they could break out. Who? Who are they? The slum children could break out into their future where there is brightness and real knowledge and real learning would take place. The lives of the children, which are thus far being like graves shut up in catacombs, would be released, and just like the map that was in their classroom, they would be able to set sail and go forth in a new world where there would be a new vistas to break into, to learn and to explore. There they would find freedom in the wide open world, and the real possibilities of learning will be unfurled before them. The green fields represents the fields of knowledge where they can run around unhampered by the limitations of their background. Nature herself would be their book, and they can lap up hungrily all the knowledge they desire directly from her. The sun is very literally the light giving, shading bright light onto their lives, bringing energy and life, vitality and enthusiasm, all they had never known before. This real education is what will open the true windows of their minds, the windows that had remained shut in, restricting them to the narrow streets and the foggy sky. According to the poet, only those people create history whose language is the sun, that is, who have clarity of vision, the power of life, brightness, and hope. The last stanza is brimming with hope and optimism. Spender had been sharply critical of the government and the societies for its apathetic attitude towards the large section of the population who are underprivileged. In this last stanza, he replaces cynicism with hope. There is a touch of magic in its wider connotations. It is an appeal to the governor, teacher, inspector, and visitors to transport the unfortunate children beyond the dark boundaries of today into the possibilities of tomorrow. The poet urges the stakeholders to realize their moral obligations to these children. They must do something to unshackle these children from the bond of poverty and ensure them equal rights and opportunities. Spender claims that if the students are truly allowed free exploration, the brightness of their education and their language will clear away the fog that has sealed their fates. Thank you.